I talked about this topic before, and I even wrote a text about this one, but it was never precise and thorough, so I thought I'd make a separate video, especially for someone new. And I never just compared these two books that I'm going to talk about, and I thought it would be interesting for just about everyone, because the first book is Harry Potter and the second one is the Talking Parcel, but I would change them in the order, because for me, first of all, it was the Talking Parcel. So in the late 90s, when I was still a kid, it was a task of mine to do at school to read this book. And I remember that I read it, the Talking Parcel, I read it in one day or so, because I wasn't old and it impressed me a lot. At that point, I never read anything like that before. And it could be a coincidence, really, but I just recollected after some time that it was 1998, so the year when I first read the book, The Talking Parcel. And Harry Potter, the first book, was published in 1997. So I don't know if it's a coincidence, if probably our literature teacher decided for us that it would be best we first read the book that came out before Harry Potter. I don't know, or it just was something that just coincided. But yes, so the first book that I read was not the Harry Potter, but the Talking Parcel, and I think that, well, a lot of people who were born probably not in the 90s, yes, before that, they first read the Talking Parcel, because it came out in 1974, so 23 years before Harry Potter. Before I start comparing the books, because I don't really compare, I just share the facts that I think are very similar between those two. And I've never really saw, if you, by any chance, for those of you who watch this video, or at least this part, if you by any chance know or saw some references made by J.K. Rowling to this book, please let me know, because as for me, I've never, and even now before shooting this video, I just visited some pages on the Talking Parcel, and there was nothing connected to the Harry Potter, really. But probably it's not the first video. I'm sure I'm not the first one who noticed, but I just want, it's like not a banner that I love the two books. Yes, The Talking Parcel was the first one, but then, of course, I watched all the Harry Potter movies not once, and I love them, and I love to rewatch them. I'm just waiting for my kid to grow up to watch them and read the books also. And of course, I read the books, and it just so happened that recently I reread several Harry Potter books and the Talking Parcel. And again, just the very beginning is very, very similar, and I think it's just I think Harry Potter has all the recognition it could get really in the world, but the Talking Parcel is not that famous that I wish it could be. But of course, it's still very known, and the author, Gerald, he is also a very famous English writer, but he was also famous for he was very into animals, so he was a zoologist, and he really was concerned about them rare animals, yes, about the dying species, and so he even put that as the idea. So the idea of the book comes from that passion of his. And so yeah, he was not only an author, but also he was known for his love for the animals. So once again, I love both books, but I just think this could be a rather interesting topic to talk about. So the Talking Parcel and Harry Potter. What is similar? First of all, it struck me first, why I even noticed that in the both books there are three main characters. Well, probably in Harry Potter there are many characters that could be considered important, but still we all know Hermione, Harry and Ron, and in the Talking Parcel there are two brothers, Simon and Peter, and there is their cousin Penelope, the girl. So again, yes, two boys and a girl, and so in the Talking Parcel, Simon and Peter, they go for the holidays, they visit Greece, and a lot of names in the book, in the Talking Parcel, are of the Greek origin, and of course even the name of Penelope. So they visit their uncle and the cousin. In Harry Potter, we all know the plot. Yes, so Harry is living also with the uncle and aunt, but yes, they meet with Hermione and Ron further on their way to Hogwarts. There is Hogwarts in the Harry Potter, and in the Talking Parcel there is Mythologia, the country where these rare animals, the idea I talked about, these rare animals are gathered, but they are also not also rare, but they are rare magical creatures, and they are gathered by a magician who is he is mentioned in the book. There is a full name, but he is usually mentioned Hey, so like haha. Those are his initials of the name. And yes, so there is also Merlin, the magician, and we know Dumbledore. So again, yes, a lot of similarities. And yeah, the Mythologia, this magical country, it gathers all these creatures that are not already welcomed in the real world, because as the author mentions, people stopped believing in them, and so for them they disappeared. But actually it takes also a magical train to get to that land. So again, so we see already a lot of similarities. Yes, the beginning of the plot, three main heroes, two boys and a girl, they meet, also uncles, and this magical country, land, and of course the magicians. And we see some creatures, and of course there will be, spoiler, evil force that, but the Talking Parcel is more of a children's book than Harry Potter, because, well, Harry Potter, we could say that we grew with all the books, but it was mainly for the children. And as I said, I recently read one of the Harry Potter's books, the fourth one to be precise, The Goblet of Fire, and it's written splendidly, really. So J.K. Rowling is a great author, and she created the whole universe, and for me, there is no doubt that it is well deserved, all this praise that Harry Potter has. So many people, at least those that I know, they even wanted to read or would like to read still Harry Potter books in English in the original language because non-speakers, yes, because they are so fascinated with this world, the characters, the plot, and everything. Of course, the movie has also played a significant part because before that, I think, yes, there was a big success, but still it became this worldwide phenomenon and still is to this very day. Because, yeah, it doesn't stop. Yeah, so people go to Harry Potter land, yes, like Disneyland. There's was like these parks, attraction parks that are now located, I guess, everywhere in all the big countries, all the capitals, and everything that is connected to the books, to the movies, all the and toys, is everything. And yeah, that's a great example of, that shows that this book, the books are really good because in this case, that many people, and I could say that even authors, yes, writers, even Stephen King thinks that the books are good. So it all shows, it all confirms the fact. So yeah, J.K. Rowling is a great author. She masterfully developed her idea in so many parts, and it worked. But so I was talking about the fact that the Talking Parcel is really a children's book, while Harry Potter, because the books were written in 10 years or so, yes, so the last part of the movies and the books, it came in 2007, if I'm not mistaken, so at least the book. So it took a decade to write those books, and of course she grew also as a writer, and all the people who watched and read the books grew with that story. And so while the Talking Parcel again stayed the children's book, Harry Potter had a lot of elements that could not at any rate be labeled as a children's book, because so I was as I was saying, I reread the fourth part, and yeah, it's splendidly written. The thoughts that and the feelings that I was somehow disturbed by what's going on, and I don't think that it could be suitable to children, just like, well, Stranger Things, that we are now waiting for the last series. It's probably still for teenagers, but not children. But still, it's very good, and probably it's more intriguing. That's one of the facts that the Talking Parcel stayed the children's book again. Of course, it didn't gain that recognition and popularity because it wasn't transformed properly. There is a movie and cartoons. I haven't watched them because maybe I will. It would be interesting how it's shown, this world, probably in different ways, because I had this image from the childhood of mythology and all these characters. It would be interesting to see how it is shown, but I don't know. There is this factor that you don't want to spoil, that when you love the book so much, and it happened not, of course, with the Talking Parcel for me, there are books that are somehow sacred, and probably I prolong the time that I could watch something that is made into a movie or cartoon, because I just don't want to spoil that image that I had in my head. Maybe you know the feeling. I already mentioned the fact that both of those books also have the transport, yes, that magical transport that takes them to this wonderlands. And so in the Talking Parcel, it's the locomotive, that is actually, so it's just like already an old locomotive, which is it is a she in the book, so it's like this Miss locomotive, and she is rather old already, and that's why she is made into a monument in this little town in the Greece also. And so when the heroes go to this state, it's like not a station but probably a square. They go in the night and they put some desks for this Miss Locomotive to slide through it, and so in that way she goes into the railways and they travel to mythology. But there is also, when they arrive, there is also this like gap in the wall, a small gap, or probably several ones. There is one that you can you have to notice. It reminded me of the fact, yes, we'll remember the 9.5 station in Harry Potter and how they transport into the Hogwarts by transporting through this wall. So again, I think it's rather similar, and it could be inspired by, before the main characters go to this place where the monument of Miss Locomotive stands, the plot starts with the fact that, yes, there's two brothers, Simon and Peter, they visit their cousin and uncle. And the funny thing is that probably in such details, yes, so we still see that Gerald created also this universe, but maybe his main point was to talk about some creatures and magical animals, and his love for the animals is shown at its best in the book. But such details, for example, as the fact that these kids, they want to go camping for several days, and so the father of Penelope, their uncle, or the boys, he just tells, yeah, okay, go. So, and that's how they go to the seaside. They have a dream, and they see this Talking Parcel. Yes, so the name of the book. And funny thing is, reminds me of the fact that in Harry Potter we all know that the parcels and the messages that come to Hogwarts, they're all talking, literally. It was the Talking Parcel because in the first book, it's simpler than that. When they open the parcel, they have this talking parrot and a small spider, Dulcibella, and she sings, and the parrot plays the piano, and the golden cage, and the parrot is very wise, and he knows a lot of words. He is the keeper of dictionary. And so in terms of fantasy, both authors, they have a great way to show us the worlds. Yeah, so it seems that they wanted to believe in before coming to mythology. That's how their journey starts. And even there, I see similarities. So let's recap. Yes, everything that I mentioned so far. The characters, the Talking Parcel itself, magical lands, magicians, the way that they transform and transport into this land. But I can say that probably at that point all the similarities stop, and I think it could be that J.K. Rowling was somehow inspired, but from that point she created her whole universe, and again she did a wonderful job. But I just think that the first book also deserves more recognition, way more recognition that it has.